Games in this podcast range from E to M.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Xbox podcast. It's the only podcast coming to you from inside Xbox. Now, we've got a week of great shows coming at you following the Xbox Game Showcase with more news and more shenanigans. I'm one of your hosts, Malik Prince, and I'm joined by, oh my God, it's Ethan Rothmel.
It's happening. Yeah. How many years has it been?
Since we've been on camera, maybe 3 or 4. They couldn't pay me enough until now to be back on camera with
you. Say that, but literally in a meeting about this podcast, you had said like a month ago was to the day of the meeting was like our 8-year anniversary of meeting.
Trauma.
It's beautiful.
And trauma.
Okay.
But anyway, excited to join for you to join us and talk about The Outer Worlds 2, which we're going to get into right now because joining us from Obsidian Entertainment, we have the game director, Brandon Adler, and of course, design director, Matt Singh. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing great. Welcome. Good to have you here. Seriously, really looking forward to get to talk about this game. Obviously, coming off the heat that was Showcase. And, we learned quite a lot, and I'm sure the fans have a lot of questions. Sure. But I want to dive into a little bit about what y'all do. Brandon, game director, you've been at Obsidian for quite some time. Talk about your life at Obsidian so far.
Yeah, so gosh, I've been at Obsidian for almost 20 years, so it's been a while.
Jeez.
But it's cool. I mean, I got the chance to kind of work my way up through quality assurance, did that for a while, led that, jumped into production for a long time, did a lot of design work. But being a game director is a cool mix of all of those things. At Obsidian, you're managing the entire project and also a lot of the creative elements as well, and the overall vision for what's going on. So it's been a really great mix for me.
I wonder if a lot of that QA influence and other things not only have influenced your job, but perhaps influenced how this game has been developed and the stories therein.
Well, I mean, in QA in particular, you get to see everything, right? You get every aspect of the game.
Yeah.
You get to understand all of the elements, how they fit together. And the same thing as production, right? Production, you also kind of get that as well. And so I think it really helps as you're kind of constructing a game to be able to understand all of the different aspects, how they kind of fit together. Yeah. And that's got like the same background as well.
I was going to say, Matt, you've been at Obsidian quite some time as well. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I've been at Obsidian for 17 17 now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Been a long time. Brandon actually hired me.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was my biggest mistake.
Cool.
It was
Still regret it. Yeah.
Yeah, we came up through QA together, did production work, and have been working on games for quite a while now.
That is incredible. 17 years.
Almost 4 decades between the both of you at Obsidian. And I got to say, like, in visiting the studio, it's just very clear the culture that you all have at the studio of, like, just building incredible RPGs and just games in general. And just walking through those halls, it's so incredible. And now we have this game to show for it. And speaking of this game, a few months ago, I got to visit Obsidian and play The Outer Worlds 2 and saw the intro. But we're going to share that with you right now. Let's take a look at the intro cinematic of The Outer Worlds 2.
Commander, we've been hit by one of those space anomalies.
Buddy?
And the piloting system is down.
Buddy.
The astrogator's gears are shot!
Get a hold of yourself. You're an Earth Directorate agent.
Affirmative, Commander. What are the orders?
Brace for impact.
Unable to brace for impact.
Is it the end for Commander Zane and Buddy? Tune in next week to find out.
From one side of the galaxy to the next, the Earth Directorate is on your side. Whether against corrupt corporations, tyrannical governments, or corrupt corporations in league with tyrannical governments, the Earth Directorate is here to fight for the rights of all colonists. So remember, if you or your neighbor's government has turned tyrannical or sold themselves out to greedy corporate interests, just commandeer a skip drone and send the Earth Directorate an SOS, and we will respond immediately.
Please allow 6 months to 10 years, depending on your proximity to the nearest Earth Directorate base and any unforeseen encounters.
There we have it. So incredible. Let's talk about the opening cinematic that we just saw. Set it up. What did players just experience?
So that kind of gives you a little peek into the Earth Directorate. So that's the player's faction. Think of them like space cowboys, space marshals, space sheriffs, something like that. And so again, this is their propaganda that they kind of send out. It's in the form of a serial that people watch of Commander Zane and Buddy. They get to see, all of their adventures and, kind of get hyped up and want to join up. So yeah, I mean, that was really kind of setting the stage for the player to understand, okay, this is who you are. This is where you come from, at least at a basic level. And yes, they're going to be building out their backgrounds to kind of put a little spin on that. But that's really what the organization is about, and kind of, again, sets the stage for, all right, now in this first kind of mission or quest that you're doing, what does this mean? And how does that interact with that?
Yeah, serial's a good thing to call it because like it is reminiscent of like Flash Gordon or even some of those like classic Americana shows like The Shadow on cassette or something. Like it has that je ne sais quoi. As you like to, yeah, you say it better than I do.
Classes. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, on the side.
That's
on the
all
side.
we learned so far.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of the inspiration that we take from. And one thing that's actually really cool is you'll be able to find little like comics of Buddy and Zane kind of throughout the world, and they all have their own little kind of unique stories you can see. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, obviously, Showcase was, happened earlier this week, and folks have had a chance to get some information about the game, seen some videos on the game, obviously. But I thought it'd be cool if we could rewatch the trailer from Showcase, maybe talk about it a little bit with you guys in real time.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it. Yeah. Without further ado.
DVD commentaries
Yes.
esque,
All right. Yeah. We can talk on top of it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Yeah, so establishing shots of our
Always
beautiful environments, got to have that.
Yeah.
we wanted to have bigger worlds, and so this is really just showing these big, expansive environments.
And the invasion, obviously, the crux, kind of the pivotal moment that we get dropped into here.
So the cool thing about this is from Anti's point of view,
Right.
of like what's going on in Arcadia itself. And so you're getting like the Anti's Choice version of kind of what's playing out.
Yeah. Very sanitized.
They're not alone in doing so.
Just a lot of stylistic choices already, and you can see across the different environments, like in such a short time.
Stealing the Protector's brain.
Yeah, we wanted each faction to have a very strong visual identity, and even the environments that they're in have that as well.
Yeah.
This stranger aligned with the Order and that world computer of theirs.
Ugh, creepy.
Don't touch that. Oh! Yeah, you should not have touched that.
Yeah.
Seeing some platforming here, a little bit of innovation in weaponry.
Yeah, exactly. We spent a lot of time really revamping that.
Oh, the ad bots.
That one's pretty fun.
Get out there and buy our way to victory.
Gotta have the slow motion shots.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we got that TTD back end, so that's always fun to play with.
And the music here, I gotta call it out, so good.
Yeah, so the music is interesting. He's actually, you can hear him talking about yearning for something. He's actually yearning for a product. So everybody thinks it's like, maybe his wife or a girlfriend or someone else. Like, no, it's a product.
That's so good.
So fitting for the game, yeah.
Oh, and you see Amos in there.
I was going to say, is that Amos from
Yeah,
episode Secret Level?
From the Secret Level.
That is awesome. It's a really good trailer. It gets you really pumped. Like the pickup of the music, the action. There she is.
I love this part.
Oh, God!
Yep, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. You got to smash small guy.
So satisfying. Oh, nice. Blurring something at the right time is always funny.
And I just love this, the pan away.
Great transition.
And there's the beautiful key art.
Wow. Yeah, I literally walked into the studio today and I love the key art for this thing. It looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about what goes into something like a key art or a trailer. Like this game is going to be obviously that have so many different aspects to the story, to the weapons, to the characters and companions. What goes into making a good trailer like we just saw?
Well, a lot of times it starts with like, all right, what is the overall message or thing that we're trying to do? For this one in particular, it was, well, we want to tell the story of what's happening for the player. We haven't really had a chance to show that off in a good way. And so we knew that we wanted like an in-world experience. And so we chose Anti as the person that was going to be kind of like talking about that stuff and really showing the viewer, like her point of view of what's happening on Arcadia itself. And then from that, it was like, all right, what are some of these main elements we want to make sure that players see or that they understand that are kind of like a focus for us? So again, things like the in-world interactions that can give you, different choices in how your game plays out. So we had those elements in there where you're sneaking through, flipping a switch, having, a turret come down and shoot somebody. We had things like, the weaponry, obviously, showing you like, we've got a ton, like even the stuff that players have seen at this point or viewers have seen, it's a very small number of the actual overall uniques and things that we have, but we just want to keep showing off more and more cool stuff like that. So we just go with those high-level goals, and we try to construct something around that fits really well.
Yeah, did such an incredible job.
You said it in the trailer. You kind of highlighted how the trailer's told from the perspective of one of the factions, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, my girl here. But I'm curious, like outside of the Earth Directorate, what are the other factions at play here? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. So we have 3 major factions. We have a lot of minor factions.
Sure.
But the 3 major factions are going to be Auntie's Choice, which, as people will kind of come to learn, it's actually a merger of Auntie Cleo's, your shirt, and Spacer's Choice.
Okay. Nice.
Auntie took over Spacer's Choice, and I'll say that some folks in Spacer's Choice are not entirely happy with that.
Oh, cool.
Then you have the Protectorate. Those are the more authoritarian faction that you can see, and we'll talk about some of that stuff as well. And then we have the OA, the Order of the Ascendant. When we were originally doing that stuff, we wanted, at least for the 3 major factions, we wanted different aspects of life and just, we wanted different points of view of just what life was on Arcadia and how that came to be. Initially, we had almost like a triad of, we have like the Crown, which is the Protectorate. We had the Church, which is the Order of the Ascendant. And then we had like the Merchant class, with Auntie's Choice. And like, what is the interplay between all of those and how do they view the world and how to interact with each other? Matt, if you want to go maybe a little bit deeper into each of the factions.
Yeah, Brandon kind of did a really good overview, but for each of these factions, we really wanted them to feel distinct and have their own flavor, right? First game, very, very heavy on the corporate tone, which was really cool, really fun. We wanted to expand that in a lot of different ways. And that's why we gave these additional new perspectives on kind of how you deal with governing people, right? Yeah. And we go down to even like, we want them to have different visual identities. So our art director actually picked like different color and shape language for each of these. So Protectorate, very like rectangular, very angular. You'll see a lot of that. For the OA, they're always using like circles, constellations, things like that, that you'll see kind of come through their art. And then AC actually has, you'll see right there, there's this diamond pattern, right? And you'll see that mirrored in a lot of like their armors and the things that they create, which is really cool. You kind of get those different key identities. You see that come through in everything that they do. They're more like chaotic.
Yeah.
They're more, hey, we're going to test this stuff on the fly. We're going to
roll the dice.
Exactly. Like, we think this will work. Well, let's just push it out there and see, you know? And you see that come through in like things like their weapons. They're more wild. They've got things like corrosion and goo that's spewing out of them. We talk about like the wire management of our different factions, right? Where Auntie's Choice is just like this rat's nest of stuff. It's kind of like how my machines, are.
Same for real.
And like Order of the Ascendant, well, they're very meticulous. They're very careful with their planning. And so you'll see that kind of come through the aesthetics of the places in which they come from, their armors, their outfits, their weaponry, all of those kinds of things kind of speak to that tone.
Wasn't Auntie Cleo like a subsidiary in the first game or something too? So like things are going well for Auntie Cleo.
Yeah, if anybody watched the secret level story, you can actually see like Auntie's origins a little bit. And,
totally worth a watch.
Why they're going in the direction that they are. It's cutthroat out there, but they're doing well, like you said. Like, they took over Spacer's Choice. Now they're taking over parts of Arcadia.
Business is booming.
Business is booming.
Well, and in Arcadia, they're actually an invading force. They're there to liberate resources for people, right?
Liberate.
So I actually want to ask you about that because I think I love this is like the signs of a great like world building is like not only putting a name to a faction, but really just figuring out their motivation and building out how from their weaponry to where they're based and how that is designed. I'm curious from a player's perspective as they encounter these factions, like how are they going to see the motivation of each faction and how is that going to create the conflict of the story?
Yeah, so with the different factions, how that kind of plays out is the player is dropped into Arcadia. They don't have a lot of knowledge of what's going on. I won't get into the exact beginnings of the game, but there are kind of some reasons for that. But they learn very quickly, okay, the Auntie's Choice AC, they're an invading force. The reason that they're there is because they're saying like, hey, it's not fair that Arcadia, this place with abundant resources and some of the best technology and the best healthcare, things like that. Why are they hoarding it to themselves? Like, that's not fair. Like, no, we should be spreading that out. Of course, they'll say that. They're doing it for their own reasons, their own profit, their own whatever. But, you know, they'll tell you, no, like we're helping everyone out here. This is what we're trying to do, right? The Order of the Ascendant, their larger goals are almost like elevating humanity itself, like making us, in the image of gods or something like that, through the use of perfect information and perfect knowledge and being able to craft like these perfect societies in some way. And then you have the Protectorate, which are authoritarian. You know, it sounds pretty bad on the outside from us, but if you really talk to the Protectorate folks, most of them were fairly happy before AC came in and disrupted everything. Like, they had a utopia of sorts, right? Like, yes, it was one where they'd had to play the cog and the machine kind of thing, but they were happy doing that because they had, again, the best food, the best healthcare. They didn't really work. They had automechanicals that would work for them. They would just program the automechanicals, and then now everything is kind of falling apart a little bit. That's actually even what caused the OA to split away from the Protectorate. Originally, the OA, the Order of the Ascendant, was part of the Protectorate. It was their wing of like the church.
Okay.
When AC came in and everything started to crumble a little bit, they said, hey, maybe the Sovereign, the head of the Protectorate, maybe he doesn't exactly know what's going on here. Maybe he's a little too young. He took over, and maybe our way is a better way. And then that's when they kind of split off and caused some of this chaos that's going on.
Yeah, and the OA, so they follow what's called the Grand Plan, right?
Of course.
They believe
yeah.
they believe that through prediction, through mathematical calculations, they can predict the future. And if they follow that, it will be towards good ends, right? And that comes through in things like, hey, they have a giant world-spanning computer that is built into this kind of moon, ice moon, right, to cool it down.
Nice.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And you can interact with that machine, but like they'll use that to try and get prescient knowledge that they can then use to govern their people, right?
Yeah.
And again, we go back to, there's a lot of themes of how to govern through these different kind of worldviews, and what does it mean in terms of, Protectorate, they give up freedom for comfort, and is that a valid way to, be successful or not? Sometimes the freedom in which somebody like Auntie's Choice provides to its people, it produces some very cutthroat things that are maybe not good for the collective, right? Yeah. And so we get to question some of those things.
Yeah, it's very clear, like, players getting dropped in and kind of not having a ton of knowledge about it. They're really going to have to like base their decisions on like maybe who to align with based on some of that propaganda and like who you actually believe from a player's perspective in Quest. Like, how much can you align with a specific faction? Is it like quest to quest, or is it like I can overarchingly align with Auntie's Choice or Order of the Ascendant?
Yeah, I mean, just like most of other Obsidian games, like we have faction quest lines where you can go in there and you can support them and kind of work with them. Again, pushing their agenda forward. You don't have to, but that's always a choice. The Protectorate's a little bit more limited in that respect, but early on in the game, you get to work with them, mainly because you really want to be able to see the actual lives of the citizens. Like, again, you're hearing a lot of the propaganda as you're either listening to the radio or you're hearing people on, AC side talk about the Protectorate and how bad they are or whatever. And then when you go and find them out in the world and help them, you're like, well, actually, in some ways they're kind of noble in how they're dealing with things. And like, yeah, that's a bad lot that they got right there. And you might not even agree with how the Protectorate is treating some of these people, but you can understand why they have that loyalty to their various factions, right? And so to go back to your original thing, like, we allow players to really delve deep into this and really support these factions. But again, like, we always want to make sure that we have the ability to kind of jump between that stuff. If you don't feel like supporting them anymore, maybe jump to a different one.
Cool.
As long as you haven't screwed them over too bad, you're probably fine.
Yeah, and you're an outside agent to this system, right? You can align with these different factions, or you can carve your own path. Yeah. You don't have to align with them if you feel like their path is not the right one. You can do your own. And because you can kill anybody and everybody in this world.
And if you're Matt, you will.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, sometimes you can.
Tough day at the office.
Take it out on everyone in Arcadia.
Sometimes you can get yourself into situations where, like, okay, I'm building these relationships, but if things go south, like, they can go real south.
I love that.
And we tie that in also with like our companions, because these companions that you have, they might share or not share these worldviews as well, and you're gonna have to navigate that with them, which could also lead to some really bad conflicts with them as well, them leaving or maybe even turning on you, which can be really cool.
It's like the most powerful calculator in the world is this like ice planet. I feel like you'd beat Order of the Ascendant just because of that quick math you did adding up their tenure at Obsidian.
I mean, that was quick math, and I do want credit for that in the comments. But no, I think I probably Auntie's Choice. I feel like I'm a little bit more,
Purveyor of freedom.
Yeah.
And you got the shirt,
Messy cable management.
That's mostly what it is.
I
hear you.
Yeah.
We're all a little Auntie's Choice.
I like that. I always equate my RPG gaming and single player gaming to playing dolls a little bit because I really do like to immerse myself in games and just like live in those worlds. And I think you guys do a great job in all your games of environmental and visual storytelling. And with each of these factions being so distinctive, I'm curious, like, can we talk about what to expect when it comes to looks of armor, weapons, things like that?
Yeah, this is actually Matt's purview right here.
Oh, I love it.
Came up with a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted each of the factions to feel very distinct in the way you interact with them and how you interact with their equipment. So Auntie's Choice is all about things like biological research, pharmaceuticals, drugs, all that kind of stuff. And that'll come through where they're actually like taming creatures, taming wildlife, and using them to fight alongside them. So that'll be kind of a cool, unique thing that you'll experience with them.
You have to talk about the Boris Blaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a fun one where you can actually shoot out these tumors that will stick on people and explode like little grenades. But another cool thing is from the first game, we had these things called cysty pigs that had tumors that you could actually eat, right? These tumors do the same thing. So you could shoot them on enemies for damage, but you can shoot them out in the world and eat them in the middle of combat, which will actually give you a little bit of a health boost. So it's got some really fun and kind of disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's nasty. It's nasty, but it's great.
I love it. It's just an innovation. Actually, we have some examples to look at. So let's take a look at these.
So this is the Earth Directorate right here. You see that cowboy aesthetic, that sheriff flair that we're kind of going for with the capes, the hats, the sidearms, things like that.
Nice.
Oh, this is a player ship. So we wanted a different look for the player ship this time. So this one we made a little bit more asymmetrical, a little bit sleeker in some ways. But yeah, I think it looks really good.
Yeah, really cool. Oh, I love this. I think we saw this in the opening cinematic. Kind of looked like Buddy was holding something like this.
Yeah, I mean, so this is kind of the standard issue pistol that you'll get as an Earth Directorate agent, and you'll get a knife as well, so you can go in, do some kind of, stealth attacks with that thing. We can mod these weapons, put on silencers and all that kind of stuff. That can be really fun. We wanted our weapons also to be modeled in a lot of ways off of realistic weaponry too, like see the function of them. So this is...
It's kind of Art Deco, right? I feel like with the ceramic portions, I don't know. There's
Art Nouveau. If you say Art Deco around an art director, he'll blow a gasket.
That's it. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, I don't want to get attacked by an art director.
This is the Protectorate's symbol. And again, as I was saying, very angular. You have that squared off look. But because the Order of the Ascendant is part of and breaks off of the faction, you can actually see that in the logo. And then you'll see that kind of break out when you see their stuff.
Ooh, all right, so here's the Sovereign. Yeah, that's
shocker.
That is the head of the Protectorate.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering, can I wear that awesome
you can.
cape that is full of golden links? If you can find it, you can wear it.
Ooh, okay.
Nice hands.
So this is a Protectorate revolver. Again, very blocky, very rectangular in some areas. The gold, the black, the red, the real deep colors there. Well, there you go. Your girl, Auntie. So that's the Auntie's Choice logo. Not a whole lot to say there other than, again, running the same colors, the diamond shapes.
Yeah.
Organic, you could see things like, they're little puff wheats. They look like little onions, but they're little puff wheats that are all over Arcadia.
And then those rockets are a little bit of a callback to the Space Choice Foundation.
Yeah, so the mixture of those two. And here's Auntie herself doing Auntie things.
Yeah, 100%.
You might be able to wear that too.
Yes or no, for sure. Yes?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. We wouldn't be saying this unless you could dress up like Auntie and run around, scaring everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is an Auntie's Choice weapon. You see a very stark difference between this and the Protectorate weaponry. You can see that kind of diamond pattern even in the crosshairs there, and it's just more chaotic. It's got like weird goo-like things
organic
that are
look.
inside of it, organic-like, and shoots out these cool, like, corrosive projectiles.
Love the ammo can, too.
Oh, and then it has a really cool reload where, like, you're pouring it back into the pistol, and then you just throw it off to the side.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
So this is the Order of the Ascendant's logo. Very, like, circular in a lot of their shapes, lots of curves. You can even see it almost looks like there's, like, at a mountain peak, and it's got, like, the little, like, halo around it kind of thing. Yeah. So that is Ruth. She is the Space Pope. She's the bishop.
head of the order.
She's head
looks
of the
like
Order of the Ascendant, and I love the look of her armor. Like, it actually
awesome.
has like the gold leaf of like actual leaves and stuff coming down, and the headdress looks insane when you're talking with her. So yeah, it's good stuff.
If you want to take that too, you can have it.
Yeah. True.
Options.
And this is an example of the Order of the Ascendants weaponry. You can see kind of that tight, meticulous patterning on the side, that wiring that's very specific. This is actually a really cool one called the bolter pistol, where those bulbs on the side, it's got like a little bit of an interesting mechanic where as you charge the weapon, those little light bulbs will pop up and you'll get more
cool.
bonuses depending on how many are up there. And there's a little tight window where if all 3 of them go up, you can let go and get like a major bonus. So there's a little fun little mini game
cool.
in the game.
Yeah,
I love the copper, the rose gold. Like, it is pretty.
Yeah, and you can even see on the left there,
Yeah,
I don't,
the
maybe we'll see
helmet.
more, but yeah, there's that helmet.
Whenever you see those, it's one of the future predictors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, here's all of them. Yeah, we realized we did not have a cool piece of concept art that actually has all 3 faction heads. And so we were like, you know what, let's put something together that looks really cool and kind of shows off the personality of each. And so you can see Auntie has her canids with her. She's kind of leaning back. You know, you see the Protectorate. He's looking towards the sky. He's looking very regal. He's got like a little spider mind that's next to him. And then you see Ruth. She's got the wasp next to her.
Awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, this is, for the viewers at home, this is not the episode to listen to as a podcast.
No, yes.
There's a lot of really cool visuals
Please
to this.
watch.
Yeah, that was
But I love if they
awesome.
were just listening. That was great too.
But also, if you're done, please watch.
pull it
yeah,
up.
please pull it up and take a look. That really cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was a nice glimpse into the development of all the factions.
Yeah, I mean, again, we go back to the world building and making it deeper than just building out what each faction is, but like from their stances to, you know, their motivations to everything and how players will encounter it. It's cool to see how you built them.
Yeah, I mean, furthermore, like, let's talk about the music. Let's talk about each faction. They have a radio station, right? Like, and I think we have examples of that as well. Let's maybe throw one of those up and you could tell us what we're hearing.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, radio is extremely important to me. I love it from Fallout New Vegas. So we wanted to make sure that each of the factions had their own radio station. Again, we wanted the flavor. So when players are listening to this, they're like, man, they really get to understand who these factions are. And then again, with the music, we really wanted that to come through as like the very distinct different styles. Yeah, I think we did a great job with that.
It's cool. Like you'll hear these radios playing out throughout the world, but also you have your own personal radio. So you can turn it on, jam out to the different stations, pick whatever one you'd want. And they all have their own unique kind of DJs, their own unique musical styles. You want to go over some of the musical styles?
Yeah, what are we hearing right now? This is Auntie's Choice Radio.
Yeah, Auntie, I think, has more like almost like big band and it's like in some cases influence. Lots of jingles are kind of spread throughout there.
Yeah, for the guys shilling products, that makes sense, right? Like it's
Exactly.
a bunch of jingles. Yeah. And if you're at home yearning for a product, Chad, check out gear.xbox.com for the t-shirt I'm wearing.
There you go. You don't need to yearn.
Plug!
They trained you well.
Yeah, so Order of the Ascendant, they almost sound like NPR. Like if you listen to them, they're very calm and measured. And then their music is, if you were to take like new age kind of music and then de-age it and get it all the way back to like the 1930s, like this is probably what it would be like. It also has a lot of references to things like mathematics and science, like throughout their entire thing. It's just, that's something that's important to them, so they just constantly talk about that and push that forward.
And as like the religious order of this system, you kind of get some of those like bells and tones in there, almost like church-like.
I think I'm going to end up listening to this the most. I like that kind of like talk radio style and like makes you feel really intellectual.
Yeah.
In some ways. Yeah.
I do love that there's multiple radio stations because it really is like, it's one, to your point, it's immersive. Like it really does suck you into the world and like what these people believe in and the environments they live in. But two, like just that you can kind of mix it up. Yeah. Like, you know, depending on the mission, who you're supporting. That's great.
Yeah, one of the cool things is you'll hear like calls to action, people talking about events within the world.
Cool.
And if you switch between different radio stations, you'll get different perspectives on that same event, right? So you'll see a perspective for Auntie's Choice versus the Protectorate versus the OA, how they all see these things differently.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I think the name of the song is Irrational. It's about irrational numbers. It's really great.
Oh, man.
One thing that's kind of cool, our production director is actually an accomplished musician himself. And he wrote some of these songs for us, like did all the lyrics and did some scratch for it, which is pretty fun.
That is awesome. Maybe we should book in this because we're going on to the next
yeah.
station, but I do have a question on that. So Protectorate's up next here.
Yeah, with Protectorate, you're going to hear a lot of military themes, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of military anthems.
Yeah.
A lot of like almost Soviet era sounds.
Yeah. That's immediately where my mind went.
Yeah, again, it's very, I don't know, brutal is a good way to put it. rhythmic.
Yeah, yes, rhythmic's a good word.
Also, I love this here when you're hearing them talk about this stuff. The whole thing is like everything is great. Don't worry, don't think. It's really amazing.
If ignorance is bliss was a faction.
Yeah. Again, talking about how great their system is, how Arcadia is perfect.
Until it's not.
So good. It's so good.
It's so, I feel like I can be so easily influenced by this. I feel like
now you want to be part of the Protectorate.
I switched my
They're great guys.
just from this.
It's amazing. Now, when you get in the game, you may feel differently at various points.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
something
sure.
about this music that I feel like just pulls you towards that. So
I legitimately listen to the Protectorate radio the most when I'm kind of walking around the Overland. Yeah.
The question I wanted to double click on is, now that we've heard all the radio stations, was the music element. Because I am curious, like, I'd love to dig deeper into kind of what you were talking about, with just like, did you guys, like, was there a lot of musicians? Was this all kind of done in studio at Obsidian? Like, talk about how it was, what it was like to kind of develop multiple radio stations.
It wasn't just one person, right? So we have our audio director, our creative director, the production director that is versed in music. They did a lot of driving for like, all right, so how should, not only like what are the overall themes, coming from the creative director, but like, all right, what does that sound, right? Again, if you're taking the Protectorate, for example, what does a militaristic society, what is an authoritarian society, what kind of music would they play, what are the themes and things they would talk about, and how would they push that stuff, right? So they sat down and they really worked through a lot of the stuff. They had tons of different references. I would listen to a bunch of stuff and go like, yeah, I think that sounds pretty good, or like maybe more like this. And they really kind of like hone that in. And then, like in terms of who's doing all of that, we work with some folks at a place called Interleave. So I know that they did a bunch of the work of constructing those things with our team. We had lyricists that we hired on top of that. And so overall, like, I've just been extremely happy with the process. We've got, I think, over 20 tracks for each of the radio stations.
Original.
Yeah, original. All of them are original.
60 original tracks right there.
Holy crap.
It's a lot of music. Yeah, if you just listen to it, like, you're probably going to listen for a couple of hours before you kind of hear the same stuff again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Soundtracks in games are so important, but it just goes to show like the dedication and attention to detail that you all kind of went through. But as we're wrapping up, I know this is a super exciting time, and I think that the discussion we've been having around factions is just an added layer. Like, we've seen the trailer, we've seen the direct even, and now like the motivations of the players and the factions, how those things interact is going to be so great to see. But any last words that you want to share kind of as we head towards launch later this year with the fans out there watching?
Yeah, man, this is a labor of love. Like, we love the Outer Worlds one, and we wanted to give players more of it. We wanted to give players more of what we love about Obsidian games. So a lot of this is harkening back to how we used to do things in a lot of ways, like really doubling down on our reactivity, getting a lot of like the flavor. I reference Fallout New Vegas a lot because that was very influential for me. I love that game, and I think it's some of our best work in a lot of ways. That's why we have 3 major factions fighting over stuff, That's why we made sure that we have quests that, again, have short-term, medium-term, long-term reactivity. That's why we have these interactions with these factions that are happening all the way throughout the game, not in just sections of the game. Like, these are all very important things to us. And again, to the players, I think they're going to love it, and I really hope that they do, because again, I think this is a harkening back to the best of Obsidian.
I'm so ready to be hurt by Auntie Cleo. I'm so ready, like Amos, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a strong foundation that we built with that first game. And kind of our motto was expand and deepen for this second game. And the factions are just one way that we've done that. We've really expanded that out in various ways and actually tried to deepen their relationship. But that should show through, hopefully, across all aspects of the game. We're really excited for people to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play it.
I know. And so if you all are excited to play it, you know what to do. Pre-order, wish list, do all of the things to make sure that you can play on October
Please do, or
29th.
Matt does not get paid.
There's your motivation.
Not if they don't wish list.
Brandon, Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate the time. Malik, our time together has come to an end again.
I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but I'd be lying.
Unbelievable.
That is
my BFF.
Yeah, I love that you guys are on my side. Thank you. That's awesome.
No. Anyway, we have a whole week of amazing deep dives into the games that you saw at the official Xbox Game Showcase. Speaking of which, we had a chance to talk about Grounded 2 a little bit earlier, which is incredible. And of course, you all shipped Avowed earlier in the year. Now with the Outer Worlds just a few months away. what's in the water over there? Like, how are you all doing what you're doing? It's incredible.
Honestly, it's just a mindset, man. Like we love to make games, and we focus our whole studio on being able to put games out in fast, efficient ways, right? Like everything that we do is the thought of like, all right, they always say always be shipping. It's kind of lame, but like it permeates everything that we do and we talk about. Of like, yeah, like let's always get something out to all the fans, so they're always gonna be able to say that like, yeah, I got to be playing an Obsidian game this year or next year. We don't want to go gaps of like 7 or 8 years before the players can play an Obsidian game again.
Yeah.
Matt and Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. It's been incredible. And of course, you all can pre-order the game right now.
Please do. Please pre-order right now.
Pre-order right now. They're telling you. And again, check out The Outer Worlds 2 when it launches later this year. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of the official Xbox Podcast.